Hi Libra, Happy New Year. Welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your 2021 general overview. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you looking for the general or love readings for January, I already posted those. You can check them out on the playlist section of the channel. But what this is here is actually pulled cards for each of the houses of the zodiac relative to your sign. And we're actually going to roll some astrology dice to see where your focus should be as far as that goes. And then once we get to the main spread, we'll actually pull an oracle card for some general insight before we wrap up. As far as the decks being used, the primary deck is the Hermetic Tarot, and the oracle deck is going to be from the Wisdom of the Oracle. All right, so we'll get started. Roll the dice first. Okay, so we got Aquarius energy. So we had Jupiter and Saturn move into Aquarius recently, and for you guys, that's your fifth house, so that could be a huge area of focus for you guys this year. Pretty supportive energy there. And we also have the moon, so I would say, your emotions might be taking a bit more significance this year as well, and also definitely pay attention to the lunar cycles because there could be some significance for you guys there. And we also have 2. So second house will be a primary area of focus for you guys. There's not much going on there astrologically this year, but you definitely might just have a focus on your finances and possessions this year. All right, so with all that said, we'll get started with the main spread. In the first house position, we got 7 of Wands. This is actually Leo energy. In this deck in particular, it's referred to as the Lord of Valor. So this could just represent you guys standing up for yourselves, and really more than that, I feel like this could represent you guys standing up for others, given that for you guys, Leo energy is your 11th house. So you might be taking up humanitarian causes, maybe speaking up on behalf of people that you feel don't have a voice. But yeah, this definitely represents really just being able to stand up for yourselves and, defend whatever your beliefs are if you are called to do so. So pretty positive energy there. And since Leo is the natural ruler of the fifth house, this could be pointing to the fact that, like we were saying, you're going to have Jupiter and Saturn in there for a good portion of 2021 also. All right, moving on to the second house, we have a few cards that came up. We have the King of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy. Queen of Swords, which is actually Libra energy, so you guys. The Five of Wands, so more Leo energy here. And 2 of Pentacles, Capricorn energy. So quite a bit going on for your second house. And we did see that with the dice as well, so definitely looks like that's going to be an area of focus for you guys. But with the King of Pentacles, given that this is the 8th house for you guys, Taurus energy, could just be saying, you might have a lot of focus on investments. Possibly even, if you feel like you were done wrong in some kind of investment, trying to make sure that the balance is restored, let's just put it that way. But this is a good thing to see for your second house, showing that you're showing up here in a strong position. With the Five of Wands, there could definitely be some, disagreements around finances, definitely. Possibly even some ups and downs too. That could be what the energy is pointing to, that if you do have some investments, given that, again, like I said, Taurus is your 8th house energy, which could point to investments. And then Uranus is there, which could cause that volatility. And then you're also going to have Jupiter and Saturn making crazy aspects to it. Mars is going to be conjunct that soon, so a lot going on there. With the 2 of Pentacles, usually that represents that energy as well, of the ups and downs as far as finances go. But in this particular deck, it's called Lord of Harmonious Change. So I definitely feel like you guys will be able to navigate those ups and downs and be able to come on the positive side of that. And that could be why the Queen of Swords is showing up in this second house for you guys too. All right, in the third house of communication, we have the 2 of Swords. So this is actually Libra energy. And for this to show up in your house of communication, this is definitely a pretty positive sign. This could also point to short journeys, siblings as well. And we see Lord of Peace restored is the wording for this card. So pretty positive energy there. So if there is someone that you've had a falling out with, like I was saying here with the Seven of Wands, you might be standing up for yourselves in some way and possibly even for others. It looks like you might be able to restore peace, whether it's just in a one-to-one connection or, again, if you feel like people are being mistreated in your environment and you're standing up for them, looks like you'd be successful in doing so. This can also just say that you might really just be trying to focus a little bit heavier on the intellect when it comes to communicating and trying not to let your emotions get involved around communicating. So that's another way I can see that playing out as well. In the fourth house, a lot of cards came up here. We have the Foolish Man, so the Fool energy. The Eight of Cups, which is Pisces energy. King of Wands, so this is Leo energy. Knight of Cups, which is Pisces energy. Queen of Pentacles, which is Capricorn energy. Alright, so that was it. I thought there was another one in there. But, so, interesting energies to see here with the Fool. This could just represent the energy you guys are feeling with all of the heaviness being lifted from Saturn finally moving out of your fourth house. That's one way I could certainly see this energy playing out. And, we have Pluto still in there, which you actually see in this card as well. So, could just be saying that there's that weight lifted off you guys in that regard. For some of you, this could actually say that you might be leaving some things behind, as far as maybe you're going to be moving, possibly even just some long-held beliefs you might have had. You might be letting those go as well. Let's see what else we got. King of Wands, Leo energy. So yeah, this definitely represents that forward movement. So I feel like this is just primarily pointing to what I was feeling there, given that it's just the lightness being lifted from your fourth house, a lot of heavy energy there in your home environment, family environment. With the Knight of Cups, could just be saying that you're feeling a bit more open and expressive now in that area of life as well. Again, makes sense given the transits. And Queen of Pentacles, well, this is actually Capricorn energy, which is your fourth house. So it's good to see this show up here. So to me, it's saying that pretty much balance will be restored for you guys in that house. So definitely looks positive as far as your home environment, your family, your roots, basically. So pretty positive energy there overall. I mean, that Eight of Cups, looks like there might be some disappointment, but again, I feel like you'll be moving on from that fairly quickly. All right, and the fifth house, a lot of cards here too. All right, so we have Death, which is Scorpio energy, Queen of Wands, which is Aries energy, Knight of Swords, which is Gemini energy, Princess of Wands, which is the equivalent of the Page of Wands, and the Chariot, which is Cancer energy. So, interesting stuff here. The only thing I could think of with all of these cards popping up in the fifth is what we were talking about as far as your fifth house being Aquarius. We have, in addition to just Jupiter and Saturn being there, there's about to be a Mercury retrograde there toward the very end of January. So whole lots of things going on in that house for you guys. But Deft, this could just say that maybe a long-held belief that you guys might have had around romantic relationships, given that Aries represents your opposite sign. You might have a shift in those beliefs, and that's actually going to help you get more forward movement. Maybe seeing things from a different perspective as well, since Gemini represents your ninth house energy, and having Jupiter, which is the natural ruler of the ninth house, in your fifth house could be what helps with that as well. And that's going to actually help you get a bit more movement, possibly even take things in a bit more of a light and playful energy as far as it comes to your relationships. If we think about comparing the Queen of Wands energy to the Princess of Wands energy. So it could just be saying that you're approaching things with a bit more of a light and playful energy as opposed to how you used to do so in the past. And with the Chariot showing up, that actually could show that this would be the key to you guys actually getting that forward movement and that success around your relationships, and possibly even lead to something more serious, given that for you guys, Cancer is your 10th house. If this is around career and as far as creativity goes, since 5th house could also point to creativity, looks like similar thing there, where maybe you guys were getting a little bit too bogged down, and I wouldn't necessarily say perfectionism, but you might have just really been set and having things a certain way. With the Knight of Swords energy, Princess of Wands energy, again, I see the lightness there, and again, that looks like it could lead to some success for you guys. So pretty good energy there either way in your 5th house. And I should mention while I'm looking at it, at the bottom of the deck too, we have the Ace of Cups. So there's definitely some potential for some shifts around your romantic life and creativity. All right, in the 6th house, we have 7 of Pentacles in reverse. So 6th house pointing to your, well, let me just put it in the upright while we talk about it, pointing to your work, your daily routines, your health. Seeing this come up in reverse, I would say, is a good thing. The primary thing that I'm getting here with it in reverse could just be saying that you might be letting go of comparing yourselves to others. So, maybe feeling like you weren't as far ahead as you wanted to be within your work life, or possibly even getting caught up in looking at other people when it comes to even your fitness, your health, right? Like, oh, that person's in much better shape than I am, and really just being critical of yourselves. I feel like that's primarily saying that this is what you're letting go of. And in the upright, the wording for this card is Lord of Success Unfulfilled. So to me, it's saying that, you're going to be letting go of those limitations and those blockages that you might be putting on yourselves. And that's actually going to help you move forward as well. So another good thing to see there. In the 7th house, we have 2 of Cups. So this is actually Cancer energy, which is your 10th house. And with this also, again, representing your 7th house, this could just be saying that there's going to be some positive movement as far as you might actually have a relationship that really could take off and be a long-standing, stable commitment for you. For some of you, it could definitely be with someone new. Trying to see if anything else comes to mind with this. And I would say, if anything, too, you're going to feel like it's a meeting of the minds. If we think about the way the 2 of Cups is in traditional tarot, it's the 2 people facing each other holding their cups. They're both bringing something to the table, right? And you just feel like there's that connection in that regard. So that's a good thing there. And keep in mind that 7th house just points to partnerships and contracts in general. So if you guys are going to partner up with someone in more of a business sense or signing contracts, this looks like there would be very good supportive energy around that too. All right. 8th house energy, we have Universe. So this is the equivalent of the World card in traditional tarot. I also view this as North Node type energy, which you guys have in your 9th house. But for this to show up in your 8th house, could just be saying that whatever lessons you might have had around intimacy, you might have come on the other side of that, or you will this year anyway. And again, like I said, you guys have Uranus in your 8th, which could be volatile energy depending on what's going on. And like I already mentioned, the stuff going on in Aquarius is going to be making some harsh aspects with that, as well as Mars. So, you could definitely be going through some growth there. It might not always feel easy, but seeing this show up in the 8th house does look like this will actually get you that forward movement if you were feeling a bit blocked when it came to intimacy lately. Maybe you felt like you were trying to establish intimacy with others, but with that Uranus energy, it might have just felt a bit more volatile. And what's going to happen actually is Saturn's going to be squaring Uranus for the majority of 2021. So that could actually help anchor that energy a little bit. So even though that's a tense aspect, it might actually help you as far as feeling like you're able to establish more intimacy. And if it's around investment, same thing there. Like I was saying earlier, if there has been a lot of volatility, that could kind of anchor it down a little bit. So the highs might not be as high, but the lows won't be as low either. So there's going to be a lot more of a steady energy there. Think if anything else comes to mind there. That's pretty much it. All right. In the 9th house, we have the Hangman. So this is actually Pisces energy, which for you guys is your 6th house. So could just be saying, again, similar to what I was saying with that 7 of Pentacles in reverse, you might be letting go of judgment of yourself more than anything, as far as comparing yourself to others and feeling like you're not where you should be relative to others and things along those lines. So this could definitely just be a shift in your perspective. 9th house energy is Gemini for you guys too, and we have the North Node there, so naturally it would make sense if you are getting some sudden insights around philosophy, higher learning, foreign affairs even. But yeah, seeing this show up here, looks like you're seeing things from a different perspective. Maybe, might not be the most comfortable energy sometimes, but given the supportive energies we've seen so far, I feel like this is definitely going to turn out as more of a positive vibe for you guys. All right, and speaking of positive, in the 10th house, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So, definitely looks like you guys are going to be getting some movement in your careers. Interestingly enough, speaking of the North Node, you guys had Cancer as your 10th house, and you had the North Node moving through there not too long ago. But it could have just been one of those things where maybe you didn't feel like you were able to fully take advantage of that energy with the fact that you had Saturn opposing that through that transit. So this could just be saying that maybe now you are able to get that forward movement. So you've probably been putting in the work during that time, but I feel like this is just saying that now you're actually getting that forward traction that you were hoping for. Um, you know, it will take some work on your part, but like I said, I feel like you guys probably have put in the work. It was just that there's been some blockages being lifted, and now you're actually able to get that forward movement. Like I said, even if it was around creativity, if you were having some kind of blocks there, looks like that's going to be freeing up for you guys. So pretty good energy to see here. And this could just point to more public recognition for you guys too, since it's not just career to me, but also social status when it comes to the 10th house. All right. In the 11th house, we have the Devil, which is Capricorn energy, and we have the Blasted Tower. So, pretty harsh energy coming up. At least when the Devil is together with the Tower, I would say that the Devil's a bit more harsh. But what I'm seeing primarily here, though, given that the Tower follows the Devil card, which is actually the natural progression anyway, we go from 15 to 16. But seeing this show up here could just be saying that if there's been any friendships that have kind of been past their expiration date, maybe the karma between you and others is cleared. Could even be around groups or even some hopes and wishes you might have had. Looks like that will actually finally be separating for you guys. For some of you, this could happen rather early in the year too, because we have Saturn and Mars on this card, and Mars will be moving through Taurus soon, and it's actually going to make a square aspect with Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. So that could definitely bring some friendships and associations to an end in that regard. But seeing that the tower is right underneath that, I feel like these definitely would be connections that you were kind of overdue to let go of anyway. So it could just be one of those things where, for example, like let's say you guys move, which I saw that possibility in the 4th house. Although it's way easier to maintain friendships these days with all the technology we have, could just be saying that you move away from that group and maybe you just start associating with them less, things along those lines. But that's what I see there. But yeah, definitely not the easiest energy in your 11th house. I will say that. All right, and in the 12th house, we have the Two of Wands. So this could just be saying that your minds are going to be very active this year. Your inner world, anyway. So you could just be getting a lot of ideas. Again, that could just be fueled by the energy we talked about going through your 5th house as well, which could be tied into creativity as well. Spirituality as far as that goes. But yeah, I feel like this is just pointing to you guys having a lot of insights this year, and possibly just really planning to take some kind of big action. For the majority of you, I do see the forward movement energy there for sure too, but it could just be one of those things where you might be planning this, or maybe it's something you've already been planning for a while and you finally take that action toward it. And also, if you have some 12th house things in a more negative sense, as far as addictions, things along those lines, this looks like you might have the power to push through those as well this year. So it's a good thing. All right, so lastly, we'll pull an oracle card. Like I was saying, we're going to pull it from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck. What I'm going to be looking for is just a random jumper for the reading. And if I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, then I'll just put the deck down and we'll pull a card. But definitely want to get one card here with general advice to wrap up with. Oh, almost had one there. All right, yeah, so let me just put the deck down and we'll pull a card. All right, so give me a few seconds to tune in and we'll pull one. All right. We have Happy Happy. So definitely a pretty positive card to get. Makes me think of that Ace of Cups energy at the bottom of the deck too. There's the artwork and the number is 26. So we'll see what it has to say. Okay, it says joy and contentment, a sense of fulfillment, a feeling that all is well. The Oracle's message: your desires are effortlessly fulfilled now. Find joy in the present moment, whatever is happening, and be satisfied with things as they are. You're free from the shackles of longing and able to experience the liberation that comes from actually being happy, moment to moment, for you have chosen happiness over yearning for it. Now is the time for feeling joy for the sake of joy and experiencing contentment. None of this is because of something outside yourself. Your happiness is a result of your being at one with Spirit's plan for your life. All is well. The tide is in for now. Enjoy playfully splashing in it. So, reading that, it definitely made me think of the fifth house energy that we talked about earlier, and also the 11th house energy. So, hopefully, that resonated with you. The relationship message says there are moments in a relationship when you just feel good about whom you're with, and you know that your heart is wide open to befriend, to love, and to care for another without wanting anything in return. This is the kind of happy that you just want to share. The appearance of this card on the reading tells you that joy and contentment are here now, not somewhere else or off in the future. The grass is greenest right where you stand. Be grateful and delight in your relationship, and if you're seeking one, be happy now. Happiness attracts more of itself like bees to honey. So, again, that makes me think of the fifth house energy we saw there. Like I said, it looks like you guys might be letting some old beliefs go and embracing a bit more of a light and playful energy around your connections. And like it says, that could draw more things to you. And then we did see the Two of Cups in your seventh house as well. So hopefully that resonated too. And the prosperity message says this is a time to take pride in your accomplishments. You're doing good work, providing exceptional service, and are well compensated for it. The world rains gratitude upon you, and you're happy with the results of your efforts and creativity. Isn't it amazing to consider all that you have done? Remember your partnership with Spirit in this moment too. Your soul has always known you could accomplish anything if it brought you joy. So, pretty solid message there too. Makes me think of seeing the Wheel of Fortune in the 10th house, and again, we could see that tying to the 5th house as well. But overall, pretty solid reading. Hopefully that resonated with you guys. I'll see you in a few weeks with the February readings, and we'll wrap up there. All right, bye.